We can't afford bridges to nowhere.
The Teapot Museum, the Cornhusker kickback.
The U.S. Senator accused of wasting millions of dollars through earmarks.
For years, earmarks were vilified as wasteful and corrupt spending. But now, a decade after Congress banned the practice,
today Republicans adopted an earmark ban.
Congressional Democrats are bringing it back.
Today I'm announcing that the Senate Appropriations Committee will again accept requests for congressionally directed spending items.
When a member of Congress inserts a line saying, here's a certain amount of money that's going to go to a specific project, usually in that legislator's district, that's an earmark.
The origins of the modern-day earmark debate began in the 1990s.
In 1998, a famously powerful Transportation Committee Chairman, Bud Schuster, ran that committee, and he came up with an earmark system in which basically every member of Congress could get earmarks.
Our country needs to be tied together more closely in transportation than ever before.
In 2005, Don Young of Alaska was chairman of the Transportation Committee, and he took what was already a pretty big earmark system and blew it out of the water.
It was always transparent. I was always proud of my earmarks. I believe in earmarks.
The explosion of earmarks combined with infamous projects like the Bridge to Nowhere and the Big Dig brought new scrutiny on the system.
This is Gravina Island Highway, but there's no one on this road. Many locals call it the road to nowhere.
So the more this went on, the earmarks began to look like they were part of a corrupt system, and in fact they were.
White House contacts with now convicted lobbyist Jack Abramoff and his associates were far more extensive than the White House has ever acknowledged.
And he built an entire practice that was just based really on earmarks and getting earmarks to his clients.
Democrats sought to clean up the earmark process when they regained control of Congress in the 2006 midterm elections.
Strengthen the definition of earmarks and strengthen criminal and corruption laws.
And when Republicans retook the House of Representatives in 2010, fueled in part by a Tea Party wave that campaigned against wasteful spending, they ended the practice altogether.
Put a moratorium on earmarks until we have a balanced budget.
Earmarks have become emblematic of everything that's wrong.
But also at the same time, you had a Democratic president, Barack Obama, who had only spent 4 years in Congress, and Obama had never served on an appropriations committee. He didn't like this look either.
If a bill comes to my desk with earmarks inside, I will veto it.
When Democrats announced the return of earmarks in February, they added new checks into the system, including a cap on earmark requests for each member and additional transparency measures.
Earmarks are, to be clear, not the sort of magic bullet solution to all of the things that ail the congressional appropriations process. Historically, earmarks have not always been especially transparent. The current approach that Congress is using does have a lot of transparency in it.
House and Senate Democrats, along with House Republicans, have voted to bring back earmarks within their caucuses, with a hope that this will spur more bipartisanship and less brinksmanship.
There's been a situation in Congress for a while now where the minority party doesn't like to authorize spending proposed by the majority party.
And it's led to a lot of government shutdowns.
We are now 6 hours into the nation's first government shutdown since 1996.
Day one of the government shutdown.
Major parts of the federal government are shut down.
The idea of bringing earmarks back would allow rank and file members to get some of what they want included in spending bills, though not everyone agrees.
And if they have earmarks and we don't, hopefully you knock out the earmarks, and therefore you have less spending.
They're trying now to find this middle ground, doing away with a lot of the corruption and the wasteful earmarks, and instead trying to do stuff that is just good for each individual district.